So as I get it now, no Title 42, no Remain in Mexico, a couple million people crossing the border. What exactly is Biden's immigration policy, or should I say illegal immigration policy? Let's ask our friend Chad Wolf, former DHS secretary. He's also American First Policy Institute executive director. Chad, I guess discouraging. The Supremes have had some good ones. Today, violating Remain in Mexico is not great. Some people are saying it's because they can't rule on diplomatic or foreign policy issues. What do you make of it? And in any event, Chad, what happens next? We got a couple million people coming across the border illegally, and there's no end in sight.
Well, it's a disappointing ruling, obviously, from the court. But I think it's important to say, you know, what was the actual ruling. And they didn't really rule on the merits of MPP. In fact, they said that the MPP program was legal, that DHS had the ability to actually execute the program. It was just whether or not the Biden administration and Biden's DHS has the ability to rescind the program. And, of course, the court said that they have the ability to do that. Now, I think that's the question before the Biden administration is, should they rescind it, right? And I think the overwhelming evidence is they should not, because it's effective, it's been proven effective, and it works at the end of the day. And they continue to talk about how they want to remove it. But to your point, Larry, they don't talk about what they're putting in its place, right? So if you're going to remove MPP, we can argue whether that's a good idea or not. I will argue it's a bad idea. But then the question becomes, if you're going to pull down MPP, what are you going to put in its place to address the historic surge that's occurring at that border? And the answer, as of right now, and for the past 15 or 16 months from this administration, has been nothing. We're not putting anything in place. And so that's why you see astronomically high border numbers each and every month. 239,000 illegal apprehensions last month alone.
You know, also, look, I know there are circumstances, but to some extent, because it's an open border, you know, this hideous story about all the people killed in the bus or whatever it was, this stuff, you know, it's linked to the Biden failure, okay? And we still have a come on in shingle hanging out. Chad, what's the story with Title 42, best you can determine?
Well, again, this is another proven effective policy that the Biden administration is fighting in the courts. It's currently in the courts right now. And they wanted to do away with Title 42, much like they want to do away with MPP. And so you see a repeatable pattern here, which is everything that's effective and everything that works, they are slowly and methodically removing. The DHS secretary and the White House are on record saying they want to reimagine, reimage the immigration system. And I think they're doing that, but it's not for the betterment of Americans. They are tearing down effective policy after a policy. And the only thing left right now, with Border Patrol agents staring crisis in the face for the last 15 months, is Title 42. We hoped that MPP would be available. It doesn't seem to be available any longer. But Title 42 is the only thing left standing. And if you're a Border Patrol agent, you're looking at your political leadership who's fighting in courts right now to eliminate Title 42. And so if Americans think that the border is out of control and we're in a crisis today, and we certainly are, once they remove Title 42, if they remove Title 42, it's going to blow the border wide open, because DHS just last month alone returned about 96,000 individuals under Title 42. They don't have that authority. The vast majority of those are released into American communities.
Chad, just going back, this is a little bit esoteric, but going back to Biden's budget, am I wrong in remembering that in inflation-adjusted real terms, the budgets of all the customs and border authorities were cut?
They're cut, or they're relatively flat. And in this environment, if they're flat, that's a decrease, because they are under tremendous strain to continue to keep up with a flow and a set of activity at that southern border that they're not built to. They're not resourced to do. So if you're not giving them more resources, increasing Border Patrol agents, all of that is critically important, Larry. But what's more important, what they can do today, they don't have to wait for Congress to pass a budget, is they can actually implement policies that are effective, that drive down those illegal border crossers, that provide Border Patrol some relief to the crisis that they've seen for the past 15 months. They have the ability, they have the authority to do it under the executive branch. We showed them how to do that. We gave them a playbook. They don't have to implement everything, but implementing just a handful of measures would actually be fairly effective because it would bring some deterrent back into the system. Right now, there's no deterrence. And the administration is giving the cartels exactly what they want, and that's predictability along that southern border to run their business. And you know, we've talked about it before. The cartels are a multinational business, and they want predictability like any other business. And the Biden administration is delivering that to them each and every day.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Chad Wolf, former DHS Secretary. We'll talk soon. Thanks very much for today.